He was the quiet genius behind some of the most jaw-dropping builds on Fast and Loud, a bearded icon whose calm intensity balanced the chaos of Gas Monkey Garage. While roaring engines, deadlines, and reality TV theatrics dominated the screen, Aaron Kaufman stood apart, focused, methodical, and deeply invested in the craft itself. Fans believed they understood both the man and the show, yet few suspected that behind the scenes a slow-burning shift was underway. Kaufman's eventual decision to leave Fast and Loud wasn't dramatic or explosive. Instead, it unfolded quietly, shaped by creative frustration, personal values, and one defining realization that would subtly shake the foundation of the show. To understand why Aaron walked away at the height of success, you have to rewind to where all began. Aaron Kaufman's fascination with mechanics started early. Growing up in a working-class environment in Texas, he wasn't the kind of kid content with toys as they were. He took them apart, studied their pieces, and rebuilt them simply to understand how they worked. That curiosity quickly evolved into working on bicycles, lawnmowers, and eventually cars long before he was legally allowed to drive. His upbringing instilled in him a no-nonsense work ethic and a respect for craftsmanship that would become central to his identity. Entirely self-taught, Kaufman never pursued formal automotive or engineering education. Instead, he learned by doing, absorbing knowledge through hands-on experience and relentless problem-solving. By his late teens, his mechanical abilities were already well known locally, earning him a reputation as someone who could tear down and rebuild machines with precision and creativity. That reputation eventually caught the attention of Richard Rawlings. At the time, Kaufman was working at a garage in Dallas when Rawlings noticed his exceptional speed, attention to detail, and mechanical instincts during a routine repair. Impressed, Rawlings brought Kaufman onto a car project, and it quickly became clear that Aaron wasn't just another skilled mechanic, he was a builder with vision. That collaboration laid the groundwork for what would become Gas Monkey Garage. While Rawlings brought business savvy, branding instincts, and high-energy charisma, Kaufman provided the technical backbone. He wasn't interested in quick fixes or flashy shortcuts. His approach pushed boundaries, favoring innovative fabrication, thoughtful engineering, and builds that had substance beneath the shine. When Fast and Loud premiered on the Discovery Channel in 2012, that balance became the show's defining strength. Rawlings was loud, impulsive, and profit-driven, while Kaufman was calm, intense, and deeply focused on doing things right. The contrast worked. Fans gravitated toward Kaufman's authenticity, his trademark beard, quiet confidence, and visible respect for the machines he worked on. He didn't perform for the camera, he worked despite it. Viewers felt they were watching a real craftsman rather than a manufactured TV personality, and Fast and Loud exploded into one of the most successful automotive reality shows of its time. Long before the cameras rolled, Kaufman had already earned respect in the garage. The show simply introduced him to the rest of the world. A major reason for that success was the undeniable chemistry between Kaufman and Rawlings. Their partnership felt genuine, built on complementary strengths rather than forced drama. In an industry where reality TV often thrives on conflict, the relative lack of on-screen tension made their dynamic feel authentic. Kaufman's steady demeanor grounded Rawlings' impulsive energy, humanizing the chaos of tight deadlines and ambitious builds. Fans felt invested not just in the cars, but in the people building them. That's why Kaufman's departure later felt so personal, like losing a familiar presence that anchored the entire show. Yet cracks began to show even before Aaron's exit. Prior to his departure, two other popular Gas Monkey Garage figures, Tom Smith and Jordan Butler, were abruptly fired. Their sudden disappearance shocked viewers and sparked widespread speculation. For a long time, no official explanation was offered, fueling rumors of behind-the-scenes turmoil. The truth eventually emerged through an interview, revealing that the firing stemmed from a heated confrontation involving a fan photo next to Richard Rawlings' prized Rolls-Royce. What seemed like a harmless gesture escalated into a volatile argument, exposing how quickly authority and tempers could flare within the garage. The incident raised questions about stability behind the scenes and planted early seeds of doubt among fans about the long-term health of the gas monkey dynamic. As Fast and Loud continued to grow, Kaufman's internal struggle intensified. The show's rapid-fire production schedule increasingly prioritized speed, spectacle, and visual payoff over depth and craftsmanship. Builds were designed to fit episode timelines, leaving little room for experimentation or technical complexity. For Kaufman, whose identity was rooted in innovation and precision, the work became repetitive and creatively limiting. The pressure to rush projects conflicted with his personal standards, and over time, the joy he once felt in the garage began to fade. What made great television didn't necessarily make great machines, and that disconnect weighed heavily on him. Beyond creative frustration, personal tensions also played a role. While Kaufman never publicly detailed the full extent of his disagreements with Rawlings, he acknowledged that their relationship had deteriorated beyond simple creative differences. The mutual respect that once defined their partnership eroded as priorities diverged. Kaufman found himself questioning whether staying meant abandoning the values that made him a respected builder in the first place. Fame and visibility brought pressure, but not fulfillment. Remaining on the show increasingly felt like compromising his identity rather than advancing it. Ultimately, Kaufman's decision to leave Fast and Loud was driven by a desire for authenticity. He didn't storm out or chase controversy. Instead, he fulfilled his obligations and exited with intention. Fans were devastated, but many understood. His departure marked the end of an era not just for the show, but for viewers who saw him as its moral and mechanical compass. Walking away from success wasn't an act of defiance. It was an act of self-preservation. Life after Fast and Loud allowed Kaufman to realign his career with his values. He founded ArcLight Fabrication in Dallas, a shop dedicated to quality, patience, and craftsmanship over speed, focusing primarily on vintage Ford F-Series trucks from 1957 to 1979. Kaufman carved out a niche that reflected his personal passion. Free from television deadlines, he returned to building as an art form, treating each project as a labor of love. He remained hands-on, involved in every stage of fabrication, and built a team that shared his philosophy. Launching ArcLight came with challenges funding, logistics, and maintaining high standards without network backing, but Kaufman approached leadership with the same precision he applied to building cars. He created a focused brand, invested in top-tier tools, and fostered a culture of trust and collaboration. Over time, ArcLight gained respect through word of mouth and reputation alone. It wasn't about distancing himself from Fast and Loud. It was about finally building without compromise. Today, Aaron Kaufman's legacy extends far beyond television. He represents a broader cultural shift within automotive media, one that values craftsmanship, intent, and authenticity over flash and speed. His journey from self-taught mechanic to respected industry figure proves that walking away from fame can sometimes lead to something far more meaningful. Kaufman didn't just build cars. He redefined what it meant to be a TV mechanic and reminded fans that passion, integrity, and patience still matter. His story isn't about quitting, it's about choosing purpose over noise and leaving behind a legacy built on soul rather than spectacle.